guys, it is October 7th, 2024. I'm Dave Rubin. This is the Rubin Report, and it just hit me that I would really prefer, despite our snazzy new theme song, that the world be a little less crazy, thus my sane views be a little less important, I guess. Alas, here we are, obviously 1 year anniversary of the October 7th disastrous, barbaric attacks in Israel, so we're going to talk about that. There also is an unfolding, unbelievably horrific event happening in North Carolina right now, post-Hurricane Helene, that's really not being covered properly by the media at all. And we'll get to a couple other things in racehorse politics related to Trump, who went back to Butler, Pennsylvania, and Kamala, who is making the rounds on some media, and to put it mildly, it ain't going well. But let's start with October 7th. It's weird. I mean, how fast this year just went. And I was just told by Adi that many millions of Israelis are in bomb shelters as we speak right now, because apparently there's rockets coming in from Yemen. So this thing is far from over. I thought we'd start teeing this up. I don't want to do a massive recap of the day itself. I sort of want to focus a little bit more on the way the world has gone a little haywire since then. But I thought this would be a good way to start. This was a tweet from the official Israel account on X from this morning. It is officially October 7th, 2024 here in Israel, but for us, it still feels like October 7th, 2023. As you guys may remember, I went to Israel with the team back in March to view the devastation, to interview people, to see really what was going on the ground. I just want to show you about a minute and a half clip. We went down south. This was literally about a half mile away from Gaza, one of the kibbutzes, Kfar Aza, that was completely decimated during the attacks. I'm at kibbutz Kfar Aza in southern Israel. This is one of the communities that was hit the hardest on October 7th. It's unimaginable devastation here. We're just going to walk through one of the little streets. This was a community of 900 or 1,000 people. There were Gazans that came here and worked. Many of them ultimately turned on the Israelis and helped the Hamas terrorists on October 7th. But these houses, you know, these people sort of had nothing. These are one-bedroom houses that basically have a kitchen and a safe room. That's it. Many of them were burned to the ground. You can see bullet holes and just utter devastation everywhere. You know, I mean, my main thought as I've been walking through this is, I personally have never been to Auschwitz, but Auschwitz was a place that was made for death and then created a lot of death. This was a place that was made for life. It's not supposed to be this way, but that's where we're at. All right, so obviously we could show you all the videos of that day, and it is worth witnessing them. Again, it was worth witnessing them a year ago today. It's worth witnessing them now. We're just not going to do that today. I should note that my interview that we just shot a few days ago with David Friedman, former U.S. ambassador to Israel, who I've had on the show multiple times, including in Jerusalem, in front of the Western Wall. We just shot that here in Miami a couple days ago. Part one is up right now. Full thing's on Locals. And I want to connect this to everything else that's happening in the world right now, which largely has gone crazy since then, right? Sane views, but the world largely has gone crazy in that we now have open terrorist supporters, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib AOC, in the Congress of the United States. That, I would say, is a problem. That we've let in 10 to 12 or 15 million people in this country, and we have no idea what they want to do on the backdrop of what happens when you don't protect your border, even in a place that is known for protecting its border. The rallies that we're seeing on college campuses and the amount of young people who have complete ahistorical knowledge of the past, the founding, forget the founding of Israel, the founding of America. Like, there are so many things attacking the very fabric of Western society right now. And I would say Israel is sort of at the pinnacle of defending that. That's sort of where we are at. And that, actually, I can now connect to something more widely that I talk about all the time, which is this wide tent movement. And we got a lot of evidence that something very special, I would say outside of politics, is brewing. Donald Trump returned to Butler, Pennsylvania. Of course, Butler, Pennsylvania was the first time he almost got killed, got shot in his ear in the blood, and fight, and all of that. And just because the way the news works these days, it's like we forgot that one. We forgot the one at Trump Golf Course, and God knows what else we'll forget. It just goes on and on and on. The script just keeps being written in front of us. But Trump did finally make his return. Check out this video. This is just an aerial shot of the crowd that showed up in Butler, PA. All right, so thousands and thousands of people, even more than last time. And, you know, as everyone says, Trump is built differently. Like, just think, not only does the guy just, 2 days after being shot return, and then there's the Republican National Convention in July and everything else, but now he's just back at the place that had his head tilted just slightly this way or slightly this way, his brains would have been blown out. And he is back, and he quite literally picked up exactly where he left off.
Thank you very much, really, and thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying,
so as I was saying that, and then he points to the graph, that's exactly the point in the speech that he got shot just, roughly two and a half months ago. Now, the reason I'm really showing you that speech is because then something really special happened. I have for a long time, I guess maybe I've been on the forefront of it, been talking about the new alliance, the new Avengers, the new X-Men, whatever you want to call it. And largely it's connected actually to October 7th, because October 7th woke up people who were still in the slumber, right? There's many, many stories of people leaving the left, seeing how radical the Dems are. But you know how it is, like until something bashes a lot of people over the head, they just don't wake up. They don't. But October 7th was so jarring. The response was so psychotic by the left and by the Democrats, and we'll get more into Kamala in a few minutes, that a certain amount of people have woke up. One of those people, I would say, is Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, who has bought Twitter to save free speech, who's quite literally trying to get life to go interplanetary, who right now is giving Starlink for free to help the people in North Carolina. We'll have more on that in a moment, too. He showed up at the Trump rally because strange times equal strange alliances.
his name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created so many different great things. Where is he? Come on up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
It's just, the guy really should be studied, not only for all the things he's created and all that, but just like the way he is, the boisterousness, the dorkiness, the nerdiness, like it's all there, the joy of everything. And that now these two guys are on the same side. And I will eat crow, because you may remember 6-8 months ago during the Republican primary when I said my big fear with Trump was that he would never be able to staff properly. Well, now it looks like he might be able to, because Elon has said he will not take a dime for it, but would gladly be in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, D-O-G-E. That would be pretty damn good. And Elon is just one of, I would say, literally the millions of people who have woken up to realize that Donald Trump now represents something that is well beyond the conservative movement or the Republican Party. He now represents the individual and freedom and true Americana versus the evil machine. And Elon talked a bit about why he now is supporting Trump.
You know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime. This is no ordinary election. The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting.
All right, so before I do a little analysis on that, check out this image. This was sort of the iconic image of the day. Like, just that right there, like that says it all. How did this thing come together? Goofy Elon Musk jumping around, the world's richest man with a guy who's got a little bit of cash himself, who almost got murdered in literally that exact same spot. And it wasn't until that day, 2.5 months ago, that Elon finally said he would officially support the guy. But strange times cause for strange alliances, and the good guys are finding each other right now. And unfortunately, the bad guys are finding each other too. But on the good side of that, J.D. Vance, who's obviously Trump's VP pick, he made a great point about what is happening with this new alliance.
I'm thrilled to have, of course, Donald Trump on that team. I'm thrilled to have Bobby Kennedy on that team because the American people are sick of the BS. And by the way, you know, I've been asked by some folks about, you know, to comment on Liz Cheney. I think we just traded Liz Cheney for Tulsi Gabbard. That's the biggest upgrade in American politics, and I'm awfully happy about it.
Yeah, that's right. So you guys got Liz Cheney, who got demolished in her own Republican primary, you know, about a year ago by Harriet Hageman, completely demolished by like 40 points, something like that, who's no longer effectively in politics. And now who do the Republicans have? She doesn't even consider herself a Republican. I had dinner with her the other day. She's still as moderate as ever. I think she's waking up and realizing where the alliances are and everything else. But now you got Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard, who is a current member of the military. Tulsi Gabbard, who ran for president as a Democrat, and Hillary Clinton called her a Russian asset. They've used that one before, haven't they? Tulsi Gabbard, who is proud to be an American and realized the radical nature of the Democrat Party, so has left them and become part of this new alliance. Bobby Kennedy, a freaking Kennedy, his name synonymous with the Democrat Party, and suddenly he is now in on this, and Elon is in on this. This is something beyond politics. The media does not want you to see it. They want you to think these people are crazy or mean or sellouts or whatever, but it is something that is well beyond the Republican Party. It is well beyond conservatism. These are not conservatives by any stretch, but they are people who love the country, and that is the thing that is now forcing us all together, and it's quite beautiful. The N-Wokeness Twitter account wrote, "It's not a campaign, it's a movement." And for those of you listening on the audio podcast, it's 4 images. It's the Trump mug shot, the famous shot right there. Then the time Trump actually got shot with the blood dripping down his face. Then he on stage with Bobby Kennedy when they announced that, which was in August. And then, of course, the image we just showed you with Elon jumping behind him. And that really is it. The good people are finding each other right now. They're setting aside the differences, and we're all going, we've got to stop the machine because Elon is right. They are coming for your free speech. That's why they hate him. They all loved Elon Musk until he bought Twitter, and then he started defending your right to free speech, and now they hate him, right? It would be almost impossible to find negative mainstream media articles about Elon until the day he bought Twitter, and then they turned against him. He's also right that they want to take your guns. They've made that extremely clear. And everything that they are, and of course, he made the point about election integrity. And 14 states, you don't have to show an ID. Why would you not? Once again, I always ask you guys, but you've seen black people on planes? Black people can get on planes. Samuel L. Jackson was on that plane with snakes. Black people can get IDs. They really can. And so can everybody else. It's completely absurd unless you... I actually saw him on the plane once. Did I ever tell that on the show? I saw Samuel L. Jackson on a plane once. I said, "May the force be with you." Should have said something about the snakes. Long story short, they're coming after everything. First Amendment, Second Amendment, election integrity, the whole damn thing, and that's what is pushing people together. So now I want to show you one of the chief propagandists over at CNN, and I keep telling you guys, I'm very fascinated by this woman, Dana Bash, because there's no soul within her eyes. You can see she knows she's a sellout. It's very, very obvious. She just does what the machine wants. Usually they can trick you a little bit better. Jake Tapper's better about occasionally getting some stuff right. and looking a little more human. But there's something about her that is quite robotic and vapid. I'm interested in it. I want to talk to her. So what do they have to do? Well, they see Elon and Trump coming together, and they realize, oh shit, people are going to see that. They're going to realize this isn't about politics. This is about something much bigger, and it softens Trump, et cetera, et cetera. So what do you have to do on CNN? Well, Dana Bash interviewed Senator Mark Kelly from Arizona, and they went after Musk, of course.
He said if Trump doesn't win, this will be the last election. Musk, as you know, has a huge social media platform and a lot of influence there. He receives billions of dollars from the federal government in contracts. Does it worry you to hear what he said and see what he's doing?
Well, it's also hypocritical. He's standing next to the guy that tried to overturn the 2020 election on January 6th. You know, saying that this is somehow going to be the last election and they're going to take away your vote, and you know, it just doesn't pass the logic test.
So it's just drivel at this point. Everything comes back to January 6th, where Donald Trump said peacefully protest, right? Everything comes back to, oh, he didn't want to leave the presidency. Yet, ironically, he hasn't been president for the last 4 years, so I guess that didn't work out. And of course, they just what would real analysis be? Well, if you turned on CNN after Elon and Trump are speaking, what would real analysis be? And I get it, you're not going to get real analysis on CNN. But real analysis might be, boy, we should discuss why these people have come together. Why is it that Donald Trump, who was banned from all of the big tech platforms, and Elon Musk, who saw that and then decided to buy one of the big tech platforms because, you know, during that whole COVID thing, we were censoring the hell out of people, and government was working with tech to do that. Like, why are they coming together? How is it suddenly that Bobby Kennedy, who has been a Democrat his entire life and mostly focused on, say, climate and those types of issues, suddenly finds himself with Trump? Like, they might want to do some honest reflection, but that's not really what they're doing over there at CNN. We've got more on Trump and Elon as it pertains to Hurricane Helene, which what is happening in North Carolina right now is just beyond imagination. We're going to have a bunch on that in just a sec, but let me talk to you about preserved gold. We're living in unpredictable times with digital currencies on the rise, a whopping $35 trillion in national debt, and inflation still at a 40-year high. For these reasons and more, the Big Short traders, known for their successful bet against the housing market back in 2008, are warning that Americans don't have enough gold in their portfolios. Their advice comes amid massive central bank gold buying taking place globally and spiraling $35 trillion national debt lingering across the U.S. That's why you should strongly consider physical gold and silver to help protect your retirement accounts like IRAs and 401ks. Preserved Gold is giving away a no-cost, no-obligation free wealth protection guide that contains 25-plus pages of detailed information and insights. Learn how you can put physical gold and silver into an IRA or 401k and even purchase precious metals for delivery directly to your home. All you need to do is text the word DAVE to 50505. Preserved Gold has hundreds of five-star reviews and millions of dollars in trusted transactions with satisfied clients. As an exclusive offer to my viewers, in addition to their free guide, you can also get up to $15,000 in free gold and silver with a qualified purchase. Just text DAVE to 50505 to receive this exclusive offer. Okay, so Hurricane Helene hit last week. We actually have another hurricane heading towards Florida right now. We'll see about that. It largely spared most of West Coast Florida, but it has done unbelievably horrific damage in North Carolina. So I'm going to read some info here from the Daily Wire regarding how Elon is now helping the people of North Carolina where FEMA is falling short. And we're going to show you some B-roll footage of the devastation while I read it. It is just extraordinary. Just watch this and I'll read from the Daily Wire. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said on Tuesday that he's providing free internet through his product Starlink to those affected by Hurricane Helene. At least 180 people across Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and Virginia have already been confirmed dead in the wake of the hurricane, with the death toll expected to rise. Millions were left without power, internet access, and cell phone service. We are making a system update that allows all Starlinks in the affected areas to work regardless of payment, Musk announced on X, a social media platform he now owns. Software update hopefully completed tonight, tomorrow at the latest. Former President Donald Trump on Monday visited Georgia, one of the hardest hit states in the area. Meeting with volunteers, Trump said he was working with Musk to get Starlink to those in need. So it's rather extraordinary what is happening. I'll have more on this in just a second. But by all accounts, FEMA is really failing right now. They are not getting the supplies to the people as needed, and Trump and Elon Musk are basically working together to make sure people are connected so that they can be found. He's not charging for all of this. I mean, this is in many ways the private sector picking up where the federal government, the public sector, has failed. And this federal government, run by a man who is sleeping right now and a woman who's an NPC character, is an abject disaster and embarrassment to all Americans. That's what I think about that. Here's a bit more from Elon Musk. This is wild. Just received this note from a SpaceX engineer helping on the ground in North Carolina. FEMA is not merely failing to adequately help people in trouble, but is actively blocking citizens who try to help. Hey Elon, update here on the site of Nashville, North Carolina. We have powered up 2 large operating bases for choppers to deliver goods into hands. We've deployed 300 plus Starlinks, and the outpour has saved many lives. The big issue is FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and locking them away to state that they are their own. It's very real and scary how much they have taken control to stop people helping. We are blocked now on the shipments of new Starlinks coming in until we can get an escort from the fire department, but that might not be enough. There are many reports, by the way, corroborating this, that individual people, not just Elon Musk trying to get Starlink in there, that many people are trying to get water and food and other supplies in there, and that this stuff is being taken away by FEMA, and then apparently so that they can say that they brought it in. I mean, it's extremely, extremely bizarre, and it's unfolding as we speak. Here's a bit more on what's going on from Elon. SpaceX engineers are trying to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to devastated areas in North Carolina right now, and FEMA is both failing to help and won't let others help. This is unconscionable. They just took this video a few hours ago where you can see the level of devastation. Roads, houses, electricity, water supply, and the ground internet connections completely destroyed. FEMA wouldn't let them land to deliver critical supplies. My blood is boiling. And the video he's referring to is the video that I showed you when I was reading you the Daily Wire post. And now get this, the government. They're not good at anything. What did Ronald Reagan say? The 8 scariest words in the English language are, I'm here from the government, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Well, it's being proven in real time right now. We've got this from the New York Post. Feds say there's no money left to respond to hurricanes after FEMA used $640.9 million this year on migrants. Yes, on migrants. That means illegal immigrants. And yes, oh, it is true. Here is Corinne Jean-Pierre lying about that.
It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Did you catch that? The second half of that, which was in 22, yes, FEMA resources were being moved to help with illegal immigrants. And just days ago, she's saying it didn't happen. They lie about everything. Oh, and hot diggity dog, it's even on their freaking website. The Shelter and Services Program, SSP, is administered by the FEMA in partnership with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. SSP provides financial support to non-federal entities to provide humanitarian services to non-citizen migrants following their release from the Department of Homeland Security. The intent is to support the CBP in safe, orderly, and humane release of non-citizen migrants, illegal immigrants, from short-term holding facilities. Total funding available for the fiscal year 2024, $650 million. SSPA, round 1, $275 million, round 2, $40.87 million, total $300 million. SSPC, total $340.9 million. So they lie about everything while they are failing the people of North Carolina. It is just insane. And then this one, put this one in the record books. It's a top tenner for the Rubin Report. these people, and when people talk about wokeness and they go, oh, it's just a bunch of blue-haired crazy people, it's a bunch of college kids, none of this matters, they'll get over the gender stuff or anything else or the rest of it. It's like, you want to see how evil wokeness is and how it has infected all of our institutions? Check out this Zoom call from FEMA. These are several FEMA people. This has been leaked, and they are very concerned that the hurricane is going to mostly affect LGBTQI people, and we should focus our efforts there.
Sparked a few things in my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself. And I think that is maybe the why of why we're having these discussions, is because it isn't being talked about. It isn't being socialized. We're not paying attention to this community. Thank you so much. Maggie.
Thank you. There are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States specifically, not abroad. This has, and my cat sometimes does this, she gets really loud suddenly, so you'll have to just allow for the little meowing in the background. The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people to disaster equity. But we have to do more, right?
I'm shocked that the lady talking about disaster equity is a crazy cat woman. You'll have to apologize. My cat's freaking insane. Why is it that every single one of these people have a completely insane cat? You ever think about that? I should note that this is a FEMA training video, so they're not referencing exactly what's happening in Helene this moment. This is a training video from about a year ago. But do you realize how profoundly insane this is and anti-American it is and likely illegal? It is the idea that federal assistance during a disaster would be given based on your sexuality. Think about what that means. So now if there is a helicopter, a FEMA helicopter, flying over North Carolina right now, and there's flooded houses, and there's a gay couple on the roof, and they're waving their trans flag, help us, help us. And then the FEMA guys would go down and, okay, you guys, come on, fellas, we're gonna get you. And then there's just a guy and his wife on the roof next door, and they're looking at them while they look straight. I guess we're not gonna do anything. That is completely psychotic. Unless the guy next door with his wife would be like, you know what, she's gonna look the other way, I'll give you one of you a hand job. And then could you get us up in the airplane? Could you pick us up then if I could just do a little of something? It's so absolutely psychotic, and they all speak in ways that make it sound like it's sane. Our LGBTQI two-spirit weirdo brothers and sisters, they're already struggling, so let the straight people, let them all drown, because that would be equity, because they've had it too good. Yeah, because the people that live in rural North Carolina have had it too good. It's just psychotic. But if you think that that's not psychotic enough, one of the people in charge of our immigration situation right now is Alejandro Mayorkas. And you know Mayorkas, the guy who looks like the, what do they always call it? The doodle guy from when we were kids. What's that thing? You know, with the big, it wasn't Etch-a-Sketch, you know, with the big, you could paint eyebrows on him and a mustache. What the hell was that thing called? Willie, yeah, it was something Willie, you know, with the magnetic thing, and you could put eyebrows on somebody, and he was bald. That's what Mayorkas looks like. How do we do this all the time? Who is it? I've got 10 people working on computer. Wooly Willie. He looks like Wooly Willie. Anyway, he's largely in charge of the immigration situation, and we're giving all this money to illegal immigrants while we are neglecting people who are quite literally dying in North Carolina right now. Where was Mayorkas this weekend? Was he, in a situation room somewhere really focused on helping people? Or was he maybe at a mall shopping for really expensive clothes? Hot damn Twitter, look. This is just a random person on Twitter, say Simonson. For context about all the FEMA stuff, I saw Alejandro Mayorkas this afternoon at Sid Mashburn, which is the second time I've seen him there on a Saturday afternoon in about a month. So suffice to say, the guy isn't working around the clock. And there's Mayorkas, and he looks like he's in a fairly expensive outfit, with maybe looks like he got shoes perhaps at a fancy store. And this is the group of people that are supposedly in charge. It is completely psychotic, but as long as we're going psycho, let's keep it going. Here's Kamala Harris. This is 2 days ago, as people are still missing. They're still missing right now. But there were more people missing just days ago in North Carolina. Here's what Kamala Harris tweeted. This is just incredible. The people of Lebanon are facing an increasingly dire humanitarian situation. I am concerned about the security and well-being of civilians suffering in Lebanon and will continue working to help meet the needs of all civilians there. To that end, the United States will provide nearly $157 million in additional assistance to the people of Lebanon for essential needs such as food, shelter, water, protection, and sanitation to help those who have been displaced by the recent conflict. This additional support brings a total of U.S. assistance to Lebanon over the last year to over $385 million. Lady, do you know what is going on in our country right now? And by the way, you guys always find money, right? You always print money, you find it. So there might be a way that what you're saying there makes sense. First off, we should be dealing with Americans first. But Lebanon is a failed state that now has a terrorist group, Hezbollah, running the country. So who are you giving the money to? Who are you giving? You are all evil. There is no other way to do it. So while we're given another 100 mil plus to now round out Lebanon, which again, it's a failed state. We have no idea where that money is going to go. No receipts, no nothing else. While she's doing that, you know how much they're giving some of the people affected by Hurricane Helene? A cool $750.
And the federal relief and assistance that we have been providing has included FEMA providing $750 for folks who need immediate needs being met.
Wow, $750. My house just got completely destroyed. I don't have a car anymore, complete devastation everywhere. I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 5 and 3 games. It's psychotic. These people, I'm not being particularly funny today. The Wooly Willy was funny, but like, these people are genuine psychopaths and they are trying to drive us to the gates of hell. That's our show for today. We'll see you tomorrow. I can't take it anymore. It really is absolutely insane. Here now, Kamala, who in essence is president because Joe Biden is just a corpse. Here she's asked about if people believe that the Biden-Harris, or I should call it the Harris-Biden, or we should just call it the deep state that's running the whole damn show, is dealing with Helene well.
Madam Vice President, what did you hear about the administration's response today?
That we want in particular.
Audio was a little rough on that. We had the subtitles below. But basically, we're doing the work on the ground, and people are very appreciative. That's what she said. Connor, do we have a compilation of some of those appreciative people that are... We do have one of those? Well, you should probably play it now.
We can't get you a phone. I have no ID. I have no way to pay for food. He has no way to get gas. We're stuck. So we have to sleep in a car that's leaking with the same clothes we've had on since the...
It was a 30-foot wall of water just pushing through Lake Lure all the way down. My house washed away. I had a cat, I had 2 geckos. I lost it all.
It was like by a miracle that we made it. I started to call 911. I could not get through. I called again and I was able to get through. And I said, the water's coming in our house, and they said, get to higher ground. And I was like, okay, we're going in the attic. And we're overwhelmed with calls right now. That's all we can tell you to do. Your adrenaline's pumping. It's like, this is, you're saving your life right now. You're doing it.
All right, I want to be clear about something. Whether it's a man-made horrific tragedy, say a terrorist attack like October 7th, or it's a tragedy like a hurricane or an earthquake or something like that, the systems are never perfect. Right? They are never, never perfect. But they are not all this abjectly horrible, right? It was, almost 3 years ago now that we had Hurricane Ian here in Southwest Florida, which was a Category 5, basically, that sat, pretty much in Southwest Florida. And the devastation was unbelievably horrific. But because we have good management here, we were able to save many people quickly. We were able to rebuild bridges quickly. We were able to cut regulations so people that had any skill whatsoever could help the communities. But this is the reverse of what we are seeing at the federal level. Now, on a slightly, I don't want to call this a conspiratorial note, but there is a segment of people right now that are saying a lot of the negligence as it relates to North Carolina specifically is because of the electoral map of North Carolina. North Carolina is not really thought of really as a swing state. It definitely does lean red, but it's within a margin that could be flipped. And many people are now saying having it be crushed right now and some of these people not be able to vote from Trump country would be good for the Democrats. I don't know what to think of that exactly, but here's former House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy talking about that.
We've been documenting that since Monday night, and I got a lot of blowback saying, oh, you're politicizing it. No, I was hearing from people who went to school with me, who are there. So that's what I was hearing, and these are not political people. I don't even think they like Trump, by the way. But going back to this voting issue, because I think this is very important. Obviously, loss of life, the worst, I mean, it could be the worst hurricane we've ever had in this country. But those votes, those 40,000 votes, there has to be court action to ensure that those people who are mostly Republican voters get their votes counted, Mr. Speaker.
Why this is so important, 20,000 votes determined who won with Wisconsin. And if President Trump doesn't win North Carolina, he can't win the presidency.
Right.
So why aren't we ensuring that these votes? Is the ballot still there? Do they make sure they're able to mail them in? This really comes down to three major states, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina. And you look at the tragedy that happened in North Carolina and Georgia. We need to make sure that they have the ability to vote, that those votes are counted, and those votes are protected.
All right, let me be clear about something. First off, it sounds like a little icky to even be talking about this as it relates to the election already, right? Because there are people quite literally who don't have homes right now, who don't have any services, who are there. It is very possible that there are people who are still trapped at the moment. I mean, we're only a week out of this thing. So we will find out all about that. But to the backdrop of how everything has become political these days, there could be some piece of this that is election related. Could the machine be so absolutely evil at this point that FEMA would be delaying things and everything else so some of these people don't vote? Like, why would I put anything past them at this point when we see what they've done to our border and what we see they did to us during COVID and as it relates to free speech and everything else? Like, I don't grant them a lot of grace anymore. So that's kind of where we are at. Let me talk to you guys about PDS debt, and then we'll have more on the NPC that wants to be president. Guys, we all know that getting in credit card debt is oh so easy. Getting out, well, the system's set up so that you don't. If you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills, you need to check out PDS Debt. PDS provides a service to match you with debt solutions tailored to your financial situation. If you're making payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, PDS has solutions for you. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit accepted. Save more while paying off your debt in a fraction of the time. Stop waiting and start saving. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/Rubin. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/Rubin, pdsdebt.com/Rubin. And now back to me. All right, so who is in charge of FEMA and the federal response right now? Well, it obviously is not Joe Biden, who is not president of the United States, no matter what it says on his desk. Oh, and we still have like 3 more months of the guy. There's a lot of problems in the world. That might be a problem, but I know we can't really focus on that. So in effect, we'll say it's Kamala. Now, I know she's not really president either because technically she's VP and there was a coup and the whole thing, but she's obviously not in charge of this anyway. She reads fairly poorly off of her notes and sometimes, well, her teleprompters go out. We'll get to that in a second. And she hides from the media. She is not a real person. She is an NPC. She just represents something that the system wants to push through. That's all she is. She is nothing more than that. Although I never slept with her like Montel Williams is, so maybe she's good at some other things. But anyway, what is she doing? She's finally doing a little press. She went on the Call Her Daddy podcast, which is a podcast about women's sexual relationships. Check this out from Johnny Maga. Kamala Harris reportedly taped an episode of Call Her Daddy, a podcast on women's sexual relationships 2 days ago as hurricane disaster recovery was ongoing with bodies being found left and right. This should be career ending. I mean, it shouldn't surprise anybody. This is exactly what Democrats do. And here is Kamala Harris on the Call Her Daddy podcast talking to host Alex Cooper.
What made you want to do Call Her Daddy today?
Well, I think you and your listeners have really got this thing right, which is one of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real, you know, and to talk about the things that people really care about. I mean, what I love about what you do is that your voice in your show is really about your listeners. And I think especially now, this is a moment in the country and in life where people really want to know they're seen and heard, and that they're part of a community, that they're not out there alone. And so I'm really glad to be with you.
I want to pose this question more to you and the Daddy Gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Yep.
I want to take a moment, and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision.
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body. Let's
No.
Is there any law?
No.
I can't take this woman. I can't take it. She can't be president. Lady Kamala, your boss, Joe, was in charge of a government that forced everyone, regardless of their genitals, and I know you don't think genitals have anything to do with gender, but regardless of their gender, you guys forced people to be injected with an experimental vaccine that turned out not to be a vaccine, okay? Why do I know someone? Why did I see a friend this weekend who has myocarditis because of the vaccine that you guys forced, and he's a dude? Okay, all right. Also, just the way she explains why she's on a podcast. The community, it's just dribble. She just puts words together to get to the end of the sentence so she can suck up enough time so you don't even realize what she was talking about. And if you want to see more pure dribble, to connect it to where we started, which is the one-year anniversary of October 7th, she did do an interview with 60 Minutes, and word salad, man. This is word salad with a little extra dressing.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
It really is psychotic. Like, I'm just not in the mood for it today. Like, she is dumb. She is a tool. She is useless, except that she's perfect for exactly what they want. The woman has no idea what she's talking about. It is just so extraordinary that she just has to read. And when the reading ain't working, she's in a lot of trouble. She gave a rally a couple days ago and her teleprompter went out. Watch the repetition and deer in headlights go.
Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it. And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
32 days, big election. The woman has no ability to speak off the top of her head. That is a problem. And that is why she is an NPC. Do you get 32 days? 32, what does that remind me of? Magic Johnson was number 32. Give me a baseball player that was number 32. Come on, give me somebody. Who else is famous number 32? We got Magic Johnson. Give me a couple of famous number 32s. Why didn't she roll those off?
Shaq.
We got Shaq was 32? I thought Shaq was 33. Shaq was, Magic. Yeah, Magic, we got Magic. Josh Hamilton, I don't know who he is, but he's a baseball player. Yeah. Who? No, I think Barkley was 34.
This AI is calling me.
I don't.
Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd was 30. The woman is not qualified to be your commander-in-chief. We have more information as it relates to that in just a second. But let me talk to you about wrinkle filler. We've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance, and some can even be harmful to your skin, he said. Recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices. Why? So he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough, one that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. In light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public, free and uninterrupted, where he outlines exactly how to use this simple solution from home. The video has gone viral. At first, it was shared by users on Facebook, but since then, it's racked up over 2.3 million views and counting. So far, the comments and feedback have been outstanding, with thousands of women reporting they look decades younger. You can find out more about this for yourself. Go to bhmd1.com/Rubin or click the link in the description box below. Again, that's bhmd1.com/Rubin. Again, watch the video at bhmd1.com/Rubin right now or click the link in the description box below. Ladles and jelly spoons, I have just been informed that it is true that Charles Barkley's last season in Philadelphia, not his last season in the NBA, he was number 32 when he was on the Sixers, and O.J. Simpson, also very famous O.J. Simpson, did what he had to do, was also number 32. Anyway, they hauled out Joe Biden's old bones the other day, and he oddly looks somewhat alive in this very short video we're going to show you. And here he is, and it's a little hard to tell what he's doing right now, because he doesn't really know what he's doing. He has these little coherent moments every now and again. Jill's still obviously in charge or something, but it's a little hard to tell. Is Biden trying to destroy Kamala? Look, she destroyed him. That is a fact. That is a fact. I would stake my career on it, that they sat down. It was Pelosi. We know this. It was Pelosi. It was Schumer. They've, in effect, told us already. And it had to involve Kamala because she was the only one who had the mechanism, the 25th Amendment, to get rid of him. So Biden clearly does not like Kamala. So here he is. And you just have to, with that as the subtext of it, just listen to him. He's defending her. But is he actually defending her? Take a look.
I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done.
So it's like, if you just think about it a little bit more, and again, he's still struggling to speak and all that, but he did look a little better there, I'll give him that. It's like he's attaching his embarrassing administration to her. So is he doing that because he wants to help her now, or because he wants to hurt her? I truly don't know. I truly don't know. Check this out from CBS, because the other part of all of this, of course, is that the media just endlessly runs cover for these people. And this one is just, this is like a very fine people redo. It's just so incredible. CBS News, just from a couple days ago, during the vice presidential debate, Senator J.D. Vance claimed Vice President Harris became the appointed border czar. CBS News confirmed, rates this as false. Here's why. Now, we've already debunked this a million times. She was called the border czar, and you wouldn't have to trust me. Could we only trust CBS fucking News? CBS News, March of 21. Harris to lead administration's efforts to stem migration at the border. It is just incredible. They will lie. They will literally pee in your face and tell you it's raining. Jim Acosta over at CNN is just a worthless nothing. Oh man, I'm in a mood. Here he is, and he's very upset. Not that Kamala has basically destroyed the country through illegal immigration. It's mostly that people are mispronouncing her name.
What I can say, Jim, I can say that 13,099 murderers were let into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been let into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running
Corey,
around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, is Kamala Harris.
Crimes.
I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? That is, it's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099 murderers have been let into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it.
Connor, can you bleep me if I say something? Can you bleep me? Because I'm just on it. You can mute me for a second. It's coming in just a second. You'll play along with me here. These people are insane fucked I might have been a little fast on that. We might have caught it. I apologize if you're watching this at home. It's just, think how insane this is. Here you have someone on air saying we've let in 13,000 murderers, 16,000 illegals, and Jim Acosta's response is you're saying Kamala wrong. I say Kamala. I just don't care. I don't care what her name is. Waltz, Wentz. I don't care about these people. They don't deserve our respect. They don't deserve our attention. They certainly don't deserve the offices that they're trying to be trying to take a hold of right now. But imagine that's your response. You're a news person. Supposedly, you are supposedly a journalist, and someone comes on and says, you know, we've let 13,000 murderers into the country. You might go, well, that seems like a problem. Do we know where these murderers are, or have we done anything about the murderers? Is anyone looking into the murderers? And instead, you're upset that he's pronouncing her name wrong, the same way that virtually everybody pronounces it, by the way, psychotic. Only as psychotic, the psychosis can only be matched by Kamala herself, because here she is saying that illegal immigrants are Americans.
And as president, I will work with Congress to create, at long last, a pathway to citizenship for hardworking immigrants who have been here for years. For years. And deserve to have a system that works. I also have in mind our dreamers. I have met with so many of our dreamers throughout my career. They who have grown up in the United States, were educated here, pay taxes here, serve in our military, and contribute to our communities every day. They are American in every way.
Except that they're not American. That would be the one way that they're not American, because they're not American. That's one thing. I've said this a million times. We can have an honest discussion about the dreamers, meaning people who were born here, you know, their parents come illegally, they're born here, now they get citizenship. We can have conversations about people who pay taxes and start businesses here, overstay visas. Like, there's ways to do things without deporting everybody, without ripping families apart. But the Democrats, they can't do anything properly. They want no nuance on anything at all. And yes, it is true, they want more of these people here, not only so that they can get them to vote for Democrats. We'll give you some stuff and then you'll be our indentured servants forever. Yay! But also so that whenever they want to turn up the terror on the streets, they can get people to do it. Because check out Boston this past weekend. Today is the 1-year anniversary of October 7th. More Jews were killed in one day than in any day since the Holocaust. People from, I think, 30 some odd countries. There are still at least 5 Americans who are held hostage somewhere underneath Gaza right now. And look what's going on in Boston. And I don't know, are these people legal, illegal? And even if they are legal, should these be people who are living in the United States? What do you think? So they want one solution, they want river to the sea, they want to globalize the Intifada, which, you know, the Intifada, that's buses blowing up, that's stabbing women and children on the street, that's murdering people, raping people, beheading people. That's what they want, and they're doing it here in the United States, and that is largely because of Kamala Harris. And I would say this show, to wrap it up, to put it all kind of together, where we are at right now, 1 year post October 7th, and this has, in some ways, it's not that it has nothing to do with Israel, where every Western nation, I think, is at right now, is what are we? What are we? And will we fight for whatever it is we are? In America, I think we are something fundamentally good. I think we are a place that 200 years ago, that 500 years ago, people could have only dreamed of. My God, there's a place where we won't be judged by our skin color or our religion or anything else, that we could go to, and it will just give us the pursuit of happiness, the chance to follow a dream, that there will be a defense of God-given rights and all of these things. It is the utter dream of humanity. It is not the default position of humanity. That's what we've got here in America. Many other Western nations have some degree of that, not exactly as great as we have it in the UK or France or anything or anywhere else, but we have it so special here. And we are so on the verge of giving it away. Like, is the world post-October 7th, 1 year ago today, is the world stronger or weaker right now? Are Western nations stronger or weaker? When you see London or you see Toronto, we have the video of Toronto? We didn't even throw to it. I think we have a video, yeah, here. Look what's going on in Toronto this past weekend. Long live the Intifada in Canada. Are those people native Canadians? What are they doing there, eh? Like, there's an occupation, and it has nothing to do with the Jews in the ancient land of Israel. It has everything to do with the Islamists and jihadists and Hamas and Hezbollah supporters in Canada and in London and in New York City and everywhere else. So until we get serious about that, all the rest of the stuff will continue to devolve. You know, I don't like to end shows on a negative note. Certainly on a day like today, I definitely don't want to do that. So I would say the alliance that we are seeing, the Trump, Elon, Bobby, you get it alliance, that is the antidote at a political level. You have to figure out what the antidote is in your own life and how you're gonna respond within your community and where you live and all the rest of it. And maybe, dare we take a hint from the Polish, who actually are kind of doing it right? Here's a Polish member of parliament, Dominik Tarcynski, talking about why Poland has actually become one of the safest places on earth.
The lowest unemployment in European Union is Poland. The highest GDP after COVID in European Union is Poland. One of the lowest debts in European Union is Poland. So don't give us this rubbish about the need of educated immigration, as we heard yesterday. We don't need your doctors. We don't need your engineers. Take them all, and pay for them. We don't need them. You know why? Because there's zero terrorist attacks in Poland. Why? Because there is no illegal migration in Poland. So don't give me this look. Don't give me these arguments about the populism, because this is a fact. This is your data from Eurostat. So we don't need your engineers. We don't need your doctors. Take them. Do not teach us. Do not teach us about democracy, because we know what the democracy is. So learn from Poland. Be like Poland. Thank you very much.
You know, the old joke, how many Polish people does it take to screw in a light bulb? 3, 1 to hold the light bulb, 2 to spin the chair. It's like, well, it takes about 37 million Polish people, which that's how many there are in Poland right now, to do it right, because they're doing it right. They're defending their culture. They're defending their freedom. They're not letting everyone in to wreak carnage. And until we all kind of embrace that, well, on this backdrop of the anniversary of one of the worst days, I would say, in modern times, we open ourselves up to probably the unthinkable. That's kind of where we're at the moment. All right, post-game show coming up shortly, rubinreport.locals.com, and we'll get back to, did you bleep when I said fucktard before? Oh, I said it again. Gosh darn it. rubinreport.locals.com, 30 seconds, ciao.